Shalom, Shalom Israel. This is Brother Yawana coming back at y'all with Lord's will, another edifying lesson. First and foremost, I want to give all the praise, honor, and the glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, our teachers. Shalom to you brothers pushing and teaching His truth across the four winds of this earth. And as always, peace, blessings, and many salutations be to you sincere Akyam wa Akwaf, you brothers along with you few sisters who are given all diligence in these last days. Right, so through the mercy and grace of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, His only beloved begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, coming back with another lesson. And today we're going to be starting in the book of Philippians, the first chapter. And we're going to start at verse 21, man. And I got, there's some points I wanted to make. I was reading through this, through these verses, yesterday. And I wanted to go into a lesson on it, man, because, ultimately, us as men, concerning you brothers who are allotted to teach, we have a job to do, and sometimes being in the flesh, being in this world, constantly dealing with hell, dealing with demons messing with you, right? Financial problems, problems with your family, car breaking down, you got different bodily pains, or you have a sickness that you've, dealt with for however long, and you're just tired. We ultimately, want to be in the spirit, spiritual realm, and we want to be at rest. But we understand that, while we're here, we have to be grateful that we are here. And not only that we're here, but that we have this truth and that we're Israelites. You see, but we have a job to do, man, which first and foremost is to fear the Most High and to keep His commandments, but also to tend, right, to His sheep, right? Again, concerning you brothers who the Lord, through the Spirit, raised up to teach, right? And to go out to the streets, to the highways and the byways, the highways and hedges, to ultimately declare this truth and this gospel unto our people in these last days, man, concerning the elect, all right, the house of Israel, right, which the house of Israel consists of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, as well as you other respected tribes, which make up the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, man. Okay, God's chosen people. This is who we were commissioned to go and minister unto, right? But this is Philippians chapter 1 and verse 21. It says, "For to me to live is Hamashiach, and to die is gain." Now, I want to ultimately read this in the NLT, which is on the right-hand side. It says, "For to me, living means living for Hamashiach, and dying is even better." Well, why is dying even better? Because we understand that. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find it. Let me see. I want to say it's in the book of Job. I forget what chapter. Job chapter 3 and verse 11, it says, why died I not from the womb? Why did I not give up the ghost when I came out of the belly? Job, is making these statements because, he's catching his hell. Job, when you go into the book of Job, Job lost everything. Everything was taken away from him, which ultimately was a test. And we read that story, Job, maintained his integrity and his faith or trust in Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. You see, but when you start catching so much hell, man, even now within your own personal walk, you be like, damn, man, well, why did I even have to be born? And that's basically what he's saying, right? It says, why did the knees prevent me, or why the breast that I should suck? For now should I have lain still and been quiet. I should have slept. Then had I be at rest, sleeping concerning being in the spiritual realm, because you understand, even when Yahweh Shai had healed, right, that little girl, right, the man had laughed at Yahweh Shai because he said that she's sleeping, or that she's asleep. Okay, so when you die, you ultimately, your flesh, it decays, it withers away, right, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, but your spirit, right, your spirit goes back to the Heavenly Father, right, to Yahweh Shai. As the scriptures mention, all spirits go back to Him that gave it. So when you die, your flesh, it decays, but your spirit, it goes before the throne, right? You get your judgment, and then the third or fourth generation, you ultimately come back on the earth in a different body and live out your judgment, okay? You see, but in that time, you're at rest. You're not down here on the earth dealing with hell, right? Dealing with tribulation and poverty, right? And oppression. For our forefather Job is about to go into this, verse 13. Verse 14, with kings and counselors of the earth, which build desolate places for themselves, or with princes that had gold, who filled their houses with silver, or as an hidden untimely birth I had not been, as infants which never saw light. There the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest. You see that? It says there the prisoners rest. You see, he even made mention how the wicked, are ultimately there. Because even the wicked people who die on this earth, murderers and all different type of, evil people, they, when they die too, they don't go to an underground place called hell. That's all, Greek mythology dealing with Hades and the god of the underworld. That's not scriptural. Okay, see, when you die, you don't just go to hell and you're in this place burning forever with Satan poking you. The wicked, even the one who did righteousness, which really will only be the elect, while they were on this earth, all go to that resting place when they pass away on the earth. Okay, see, because like he said, there the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest. There the prisoners rest together. They hear not the voice of the oppressor. So the prisoners, people that were imprisoned and did hard years and 30 plus years. Say if they were to die in there, they ultimately go and they're in rest. They're not having to deal with, single file lines and, being locked in a cell all day. You see that? And then they're free from the voice of the oppressor. They don't hear nobody constantly over them, telling them, time to, clock back in and go, here or there. You see, it says the small and the great are there, and the servant is free from his master. You see, the servant's free from the master. Wherefore is light given to him that is in misery, and a life unto the bitter in soul, which long for death, but it cometh not, and dig for it more than for hid treasures. Okay, and that's ultimately the point. Okay, that when you pass away, right, you ultimately go to your resting place. And see, Apostle Paul had made mention that he said dying is even better, for living a true life is serving Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, because you're following after life, which is the scriptures, the word of life. You see, Yahweh Shai's life. What did he say? I am the way, the truth, and the life. So to really live is to be serving Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. But we understand that dying is even better because we get to be at rest. But look what Apostle Paul continues to make mention of. Verse 22, but if I live, I can do more fruitful work for Hamashiach. So I really don't know which is better. You see, so, we understand that, hey, let me read the next verse. I'm torn between two desires. I long to go and be with Hamashiach, which would be far better for me. But for your sakes, it is better that I continue to live. You see that? And Apostle Paul's, writing these letters, man, to, ultimately these Israelite churches, which, only the elect was reading these letters, man. Dealing with the same thing. And we're dealing with the same thing now. Like, damn, some days you wish you would be gone from this place, man. Dealing with all the shit that you deal with on a day-to-day, it's like, damn, Lord, I'd rather just be up there with you. But see, at the same time, especially us as men, we have a job to do, okay, to go out and teach. And like I always say, for you brothers, right, who are able, right, you know what I'm saying, who Yahweh B'Shem Shai putting on your spirit to go out and teach, go out there, man. Okay, if like the Lord told the prophets, man, in particular Ezekiel, right, he told him to eat the whole roll, right, and then go and teach the house of Israel. So eating the whole roll meaning learn this truth, learn the breakdowns, learn the milk, right, get a good foundation and good understanding, and once you get built up to a certain point, then you go and teach, right, because you don't just want to be out there teaching anything and trying to just wing it. No, you need to teach what was taught, learning from the elder apostles, man, on down, right, and teaching the same doctrine, which is the doctrine of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, the 100% truth. Okay, but sometimes you be like, damn, better for me to be up there than be down here, man. And I be saying that sometimes too. I ain't even gonna lie about it, but again, understanding that we have a job to fulfill while we're on this earth. We're not just here to live how we want to live. We're here to do the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Because what did Yahweh Shai say when he was on the earth? He said, I came not to do the will of him that sent me. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Right, because, we're ultimately looking unto the author and the finisher of our faith. We look to Yahweh Shai because exactly as he walked, that's how we're trying to walk. right, to the best of our ability, man, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shah. This is John 6 and verse 38. It says, "For I came down from heaven not to do mine own will, but the will of him that sent me." Okay, so, we're not supposed to be in the mentality of, oh, I just want to do what I want to do. And, no, we got to do what the Lord wants us to do, man. You see, because we're in crunch time right now. All these things happening in the earth, all these prophecies being fulfilled. Do you think it's just a coincidence that the Bible? No, man. Right? This word, it's a living document. It lives and it speaks, through different various things happening in the world. Through the mouthpiece of the Lord's men. That's the Lord speaking his word. But let's go back here. Actually, I had a quick precept. This is John chapter 21, verse 15. Because Apostle Paul may mention that it's far better for me to be in the spiritual realm, because then I'll be at rest. I won't have to suffer anymore. But at the same time, it's needful for me to be here in the flesh for you, right? Again, he's writing these letters to these Israelite churches. And why is he saying it's better for me to be alive in the flesh? Because it's needful for you, or simply because he's gonna, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, he's gonna build them up, right? That's what edification means, Edifatio is the elder Apostle Gabar likes to go into from time to time, which means to build, right? Constantly, comforting our people, right? Correcting them, right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, warning them, filling them in on prophecy and the things that are to come, the promises that the Lord gave unto us as Israelites, to ultimately give our people the right food, right, that they need, right, to ultimately be able to endure these times with the sound mind, man. That's our job. John 21 and 15. "So when they had dined, Yahweh Shai saith to Simon Peter," so like my phone's freezing, of course. Like I said, you brothers see it, man. This phone only freezes up when I do these lessons, but it's all good. John 21 and 15. "So when they had dined, Yahweh Shai saith to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these?" Right? Because, he was ultimately Peter was a fisher, right? And he loved to fish. That was what he did. Okay, but Yahweh Shai is asking him, "Do you love, fishing, and, do you love it more than me?" He saith unto him, "Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee." He saith unto him, "Feed my lambs." He saith to him again the second time, "Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me?" Slack it, man. Phone's acting up. He saith unto him, "Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee." He saith unto him, "Feed my sheep." He saith unto him the third time, "Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me?" Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time, "Lovest thou me?" And he said unto him, "Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee." Yahweh Shai saith unto him, "Feed my sheep." Yahweh Shai said this 3 times back to back. That's how important it is. Okay? The Lord has entrusted you to ultimately watch over his sheep, while he's, we're on this journey, it's just like if, if someone, you say you got a brother going out of town, he's telling you to watch his house for him. You ain't just going to treat his house any kind of way. You're going, what I'm saying? Sometimes, brother might have a list of, you got animals at home. Hey, the dogs need to be fed at this time and taken out. My kids need to be in bed by this time. And, they need to be at school. You need to be following the criteria. You need to be following the guidelines, right? Because when that brother comes back and his whole house is out of order, you're going to get chewed out, man. And you might even lose your brother, which we got to forgive our brother 7 times 7 and fold. But making the point, okay, that the Lord has left, on a far journey, right? But he's coming back. But before he comes back, he told us to occupy till he comes. Okay, but that word occupy means to keep busy with it. Keep busy watching the prophecies, giving heed to taking attendance to, so like in 1 Peter the 4th chapter, or 1 Timothy the 4th chapter, give attendance to reading, exhortation, and doctrine, right? But also teaching, right? Feeding the sheep, Yahweh Shai. This is how important it is, man. Okay? And for you brothers out there, man, sometimes it's hard. It's hard to do these lessons, right? It's hard to, you be dealing with work and your boss working you to death, and, you exhausted by the time you get home, and you might have a family, you got things to deal with. Even if you don't have a family, you be so burnt out. Satan messing with you. The flesh is weak. But it's no excuse. We got to endure all things for the elect's sake, that they may also obtain salvation. You see, so that's what Apostle Paul also made mention. We got to endure the the trials and the tribulations. We got to endure the things that we're, experiencing on our own walk, right? And we have to ultimately push that aside and get this work done, because there's people, there's brothers, there's sisters, there's individuals that are waiting for your videos to come up. And you might not know it because Esau ultimately shadow bans a lot of our stuff, you know what I'm saying, or ultimately has it blocked, or, we can't see how many views we get, whatever. It's not about views, but it's about doing the work. But also considering that you got people that watch you, man, and that, look to you for understanding and for guidance, and, through the Spirit, you got to take your truth, you got to take yourself and this truth a lot more serious, man. And I say this to myself because I've been really meditating on that. Like, man, the Lord, not that we're anybody, we're just microphones, right? And the Lord speaks, and when when the show's over and the artist performs on stage, you don't really be like, man, that microphone. You don't even think about the microphone. You're just so caught up with the voice that's coming out from the individual himself. So we don't really have, no significance. We're just vessels. And I hope I'm not saying that in the wrong way, but in the sense of we don't, we're just vessels, man, for the Lord to use, for his word to go out. We're not to think of ourselves any more highly than we ought to think, man. Right? We're just men, we're just unprofitable servants doing that which is what our duty to do. It's our job, it's our task, it's our purpose. Being on this earth is to, again, fear the Most High and keep his commandments, Ecclesiastes 12:13. But especially you, Akyam, right, who the Lord's raised up to teach, or is putting it on your spirit to teach, you do it. Okay, man, hey, we got to. Because how are people going to get this truth? How are they going to learn about the Lord's true name? How are they going to learn about the prophecies and the kingdom and the good news? Well, let's get it, man. All right, because the answer is plain. Man, this phone was working just perfectly fine, man, before this video came on. We got to be doing something right, though, huh? Either Esau's messing with the video, or it'd be Satan. Either one. They're both the same. Esau is the physical counterpart of Satan on the earth. But this is Romans 10:14. How then shall, matter of fact, I actually want to read a verse up and a verse below this. So, matter of fact, let me try to go to it in the blue letter. Right, it's going to take forever on Google. This is Romans chapter 10. And, man, come on. Romans chapter 10 and verse 13. For whosoever, man, that's heavy right there too. Verse 13, for whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. And we know that whosoever is, anyone that is of an Israelite, right? Okay, from the nation of Israel, right? Again, which consists of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, as well as you other respected tribes. And also to mention to you Israelite foreigners, man. Those of you who look like the heathen, but according to the seed of your father, you are an Israelite, right? And your spirit bears witness with this truth. The Lord's woken you up, in these last days to understand, these words, and to understand and see prophecy happening in the earth. Okay, so this truth is also for you. Can't forget to mention the speckled birds, man. There's a lot of y'all. And shalom to you too. Verse 14, how then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher? So how are people going to know about the Lord? How are they going to know to call upon the name of the Lord if they don't know the name of the Lord? All right, how are they going to know about this truth and not to take the mark of the beast? How are they going to know not to take it, which is the RFID microchip? How are they going to know not to take that and what the consequence is for taking it unless someone tells them, as it says on the right-hand side? Just like that, when Philip, went up to that Ethiopian eunuch and he was reading, right, I believe Isaiah the 53rd chapter, and concerning Yahushua, and Philip asked the Ethiopian eunuch if he understood what he reads or what he was reading, and the eunuch replied and said, "How can I except a man should guide me?" Right, and there's men on the planet Earth who the Lord has set up, right, to ultimately do just that, to guide you. This is and to guide us. I gotta include myself. This is Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse 15. It says, "And I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding," right? With the true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Holy Scriptures, which was given through the Spirit. Right? Verse 15 on the NLT on the right-hand side. It says, and I will give you shepherds after my own heart, who will guide you with knowledge and understanding. You see, who will guide you with knowledge, understanding, the right knowledge. Okay? Feeding our people with the right things. And not even, and see, this truth is free. It's supposed to be free. But you have men on the earth who are using the truth as a means for them to ultimately get an advantage, in this world. Right? Whether it be financially or whether it be fame and praise of people. You shouldn't want that. Again, we got to really understand that what we're doing is we're saving souls. And really, it's not us, it's the Lord. But the Lord's using you to do it. The Lord's using you to do his work. And that's a very beautiful thing. Matter of fact, I want to go back to that Romans, the 10th chapter, because there was a verse I wanted to get. Romans chapter 10 and verse 15. And how shall they preach except they be sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace and bring glad tidings of good things. You see that? How beautiful are the feet of messengers who bring good news. You see, you're beautiful, man. You're a very precious spirit. Right to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. You're not, the Lord's not looking at you like, oh, shit, here we go again. The Lord really loves you, man. And the Lord has your best interest in mind. Right? So you doing this work, even, you brothers who aren't teachers, man, just on this note, you serving the Lord and doing what you're doing for the Lord within your lot, the talents you were given, the Lord sees you as precious. Okay, but in this particular verse, you brothers, man, all right, who out there teaching, you are very special to the Lord. Okay, as it says, they that be wise as the firmament, right? Daniel the 12th chapter, I'm roughly paraphrasing, and they that turn many unto righteousness. You're literally, through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Shah, you're turning souls from darkness unto righteousness through the words that the Lord's putting in you to speak. And the Lord will put those words, the more that you experience in this truth, the more that you read, obviously, and study, right? The Lord can use you, right, in a way to do good, and you should love to do this, man, to teach and ultimately know that you're helping somebody out there on their path, on their journey to the kingdom, right? So let me go back. That was mainly the point. Matter of fact, let me go here. I was gonna go here too. This is ooh, I was itching. Is that James? Or is that 2 Peter? Trying to think. 1 Timothy 5:2. It says, "Feed the flock of the Most High, which is among you." Let me see if I will find it. I'm a little rusty. 1 Peter 5:2. Here we go. 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 2. It says, "Feed the flock of the Most High, which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly, not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind." You see that? Feeding the flock of Yahweh Bashim Yahshua. And what are we feeding them? Right? The bread of understanding. Matter of fact, let me see if I can get that scripture, because I always quote it, but I don't get it. Giving our people the right food they need in these last days, man. The bread, the wine, the living water, which is all synonymous with the truth, with these words. The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay? Let's see if I can find it. Of understanding. Here we go. This is Sirach chapter 15 and verse 2. It says, "And as a mother shall she meet him and receive him as a wife married of a virgin with the bread of understanding." Right? The she is referring to wisdom. "With the bread of understanding shall she feed him and give him the water of wisdom to drink." You see that? So giving our people the water, giving our people the bread, okay, ultimately giving our people the right fruits and spiritual fruits and vegetables that they need, right? The right water. Because our people out here, drinking Esau's water, man, his wicked philosophies and ways of life, which is, ultimately poisonous, contaminated. That's why our people are all jacked up. They're destroyed for lack of knowledge, pursuing to Hosea 4:6. Right? So the Lord is saying, come and drink of these living waters. Okay? Getting this knowledge. So you can be made whole. right? But let me end it off here. I think that was the last scripture I had. Let me double check. Yeah, here it was. Ecclesiasticus chapter 33 and verse 17. Lord willing, it pop up. Lord willing. Ecclesiasticus 33 and 17. Consider that I labor not for myself only, but for all of them that seek learning. You see, so, our people out here, the elect, are out here looking, continuing to watching videos and, trying to get built up in the faith and get ready, for what's to come. And Lord willing, to be delivered, through their diligence, So for you brothers, again, that, the Lord's allowed to teach, take this truth, or we need to take this truth a lot more serious and take ourselves a lot more serious, man. Because there's different souls out there that need, you have certain people that gravitate towards certain men, the way they teach or talk and make certain points. People have favorite things, favorite teachers. So you might have certain souls out there that like to watch you, right, and actually learn and get built up. So you gotta stay strong, man, no matter what we're going through, man. We gotta understand Yahushua said to feed his sheep, feed his sheep, feed his sheep. Okay, so Lord willing, we can continue to do that, and also be built up, within ourselves and our faith and our understanding within the scriptures, man. You see, so Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, our teachers. Shalom to you brothers pushing and teaching this truth across the four winds of this earth. And as always, peace, blessings, and many salutations be to you sincere Akiyam Wa'akwa for giving all diligence in these last days. So next time I say shalom, stay strong, and keep the faith. Shalom.